Hey everybody, it's Tim, one half of Horror Movie Yearbook, here with your horror hotline for July 17th, 2018. I just realized wait, this is day two of recovery from my bachelor party, so you'll have to excuse some of yesterday's hotline. You might be wondering what this is. This is basically going to be me trying to keep up with current horror in audio form. I made a goal of mine to try to keep up with new horror. I'm getting older. I'm in my mid 30s now, so it's harder and harder to keep up with things like the things I love, especially as things get more fragmented and segmented and all over the place, and trying to follow stuff on social media and trying to read everybody's articles and keep up with what new movies and music's even worse. I don't even want to get started on how hard music is these days. It'll just be turned into an old man kind of complaining about everything passing him by. But this is basically just going to be, I'm starting this right now as a way for me to just kind of keep up with current horror news, current horror movies. You might see some reviews on here. Might see some book reviews. Might just see some me random thoughts on general horror. So, but it'll probably mostly be news. I have no idea. It's just gonna be me sitting down, having my coffee, and talking about new horror. So let's do that. Yesterday, Stranger Things. Netflix released a Stranger Things teaser. I call it a teaser. It was what it was a fake advertisement for the Starcourt Mall, something called the Starcourt Mall. It goes through and it's like an old kind of cheesy video of shops in a mall. It was actually filmed, I believe, at an older rundown mall in Gwinnett, Atlanta. But they'll show some shops in the mall, including Walden Books and Sam Goody, and a food court. The video clip ends with Steve and a younger woman, a new addition to the cast named Robin, played by Maya Thurman Hawk, working inside an ice cream shop called Scoops Ahoy inside of the mall. He says "Ahoy" with a big, and then she comes in with a big cheesy grin and puts an ice cream cone to the screen, to the camera. It's really, the teaser is just kind of cute and inconsequential plot wise. You don't get to see much. We do get introduced a little bit to the new character in Robin. She seems to, and Steve has a job in the mall, it seems like, in season 3. And he works with a young woman, so we'll see what happens there. Some people have pointed out that there is a Hunt for Red October book in the background of the shot of the Walden books during the cut through the different stores in the mall. That could be a hint at the Russians being involved in season 3. This is another very much nostalgia aimed teaser for people who remember commercials for malls, and well, who remember malls in general at this point. I think it could be a cool way to explore kind of big time commerce coming to a small town city, as a city like Hawkins. Could be a way to see how something like that could run the town. That could be a way to explore that. I also think it's really just kind of, the teaser ends with where it says a Starcourt Mall coming summer 2019, or coming next summer. So it really just seemed kind of like a neat way to announce the release date and maybe give a couple of quick plot teasers as well. David Neary, assistant editor of Cities Magazine, pointed out that the video arrows crossing over into the pillar boxes suggests that this was made by someone who doesn't understand video, aspect ratio, or concept of the past. Oh, what a scold. But I brought that up because A, I thought it was kind of funny, because it did, and he's not wrong, and B, it is kind of the criticism of Stranger Things in a nutshell, that it is kind of empty-ish nostalgia. I don't necessarily 100%, I don't agree with that, but I do think there is validity to that criticism. I thought this was cute, but if you're someone who pays attention to that kind of stuff, that could be kind of annoying. I find enough, though, in the characters to enjoy. I'm happy this focus on Steve, the best character. I also just kind of like, I find enough in the characters, I find enough in the world. I also just like being able to watch good, well-made blockbuster science fiction horror, and that's what Stranger Things is to me. I enjoy it, and I am looking forward to it. The next summer is a long time to wait. I assume we'll get something soon. I don't think they're going to be at Comic-Con, now that I look at it. They also put out a what was essentially a press release from the mayor of Hawkins, who I think is going to be played by Carrie Elwes. It says, and I'm not going to read the whole thing. You can check it out on. It's just a cute way. It's just another cute way. It's an announcement of the mall itself. So it's just kind of a cute way. You can check that out on Stranger Things. There, Netflix tweeted it out yesterday. They probably put out a release for it. You can pretty much see it anywhere if you haven't seen it at this point. It's cute. It's worth a watch, especially if you're a fan and looking forward to season 3. Interesting article from IndieWire over the weekend. Unfriended is coming out this weekend. You may not know it, judging by the lack of advertising for it. It's weird. I like the first Unfriended quite a bit, and I was surprised they were making a sequel to it. I don't recall it. I looked it up. It's a modest hit, but I liked Unfriended, and I thought the trailer for this one looked pretty interesting. But IndieWire posted an article. I'll read a little bit from it. A list of instructions for projectionists shared on Twitter includes an unusual warning. Please note this feature has 2 different endings. This movie premiered at South by a couple months back, and no mention of an alternate ending was made then. It appears to have either added the conclusion or simply saved it for theatrical audiences, though that's not yet to be confirmed. IndieWire has reached out to Blumhouse for comment. I don't know. This would be strange. It's in theaters this coming Friday, so for them to not advertise that this has 2 endings, I don't know why you would do that unless you were going to advertise it as a gimmick to get people, unless they thought this would get people talking. I haven't heard much buzz about this at all, positive or negative, really. I read the reviews coming out of South by Southwest, and they seem pretty solid. It seems like a solid flick, and I thought the first one was a solid flick, as I said. But the alternate ending thing is strange to me that you would not promote that. That would be the gimmick, I assume, to get people into theaters, unless they want them to talk about it, to get together and talk about it after. Maybe as they're thinking, maybe they'll have people see it and go, oh, I had a different ending than you. But then, like, you'd be talking to people that are going to a theater from miles away. So I guess we'll have to wait and see on this. Like I said, Blumhouse has not confirmed anything. That was as of this weekend. I checked around a little bit yesterday. I still saw nothing from Blumhouse or anybody officially with them. This is kind of the Clue ending. Clue had multiple endings back in the 80s. I think they had 3 of them when it was released in theaters. They wanted to have a 4th. There were rumors of Freddy versus Jason doing this as well. I think this was pre-Ronnie Yu or early when Ronnie Yu entered the picture. I know it was before Shannon and Swift, but it was basically, you can read about it in the Slash of the Titans book, which is a really good book, especially if you're a fan of both franchises. But they basically want to have a different ending with someone else winning for each and every theater they put it out to. You would go, and one time you might see Freddy win, one time you might see Jason win. Logistics of that would be tough, but it was kind of a neat idea. I guess at the end, maybe I don't really see the point in it, and then I kind of think you're gonna get the audience you're gonna get no matter what. And repeat viewings for something like Unfriended in a theater that's strange to me. This is an old William Castle gimmick too. He did it with Mr. Sardonicus, his movie back in 1961. Of course, Castle was kind of the king of gimmicks, but he built Mr. Sardonicus, he built the marketing of the film around having 2 possible endings, and he kind of gave the audience a choice as to what ending they wanted to see. I guess spoilers for Mr. Sardonicus, but they had the audience participate in kind of a participation poll where each member of the audience was given a glow-in-the-dark card that features a hand with a thumbs out, and at the appropriate time they voted on it by whether they wanted to see him punished or when they wanted to see him live. They voted on it by holding up the card and giving a thumbs up or thumbs down. Castle would come on screen and kind of nudge the audience towards giving a thumbs down to get the punishment ending. The thing was rigged anyway. Historians say he never actually shot the other ending. It was just a marketing gimmick because William Castle rules. Let's check in. We got a couple of Fantasia Fest reviews that I want to check in on real quick. I'm just kind of keeping track of what's good there. Cold Skin, the new Javier Gens movie, premiered. It screened on Sunday. It was its North American premiere. Gens is the director of one of the essential films of the new French extremity, Frontiers. He also directed the Hitman video game adaptation and the underrated and brutal film, The Divide. It's a real uplifting tale, The Divide is. You can hear us talk about it, talk through our thoughts, try to come out of it with something positive. At our class of 2011 show, it's episode 19 of our podcast, Horror Movie Yearbook, which, by the way, you can find on any of your favorite podcast services. That show also includes Kill List and Your Next. But the movie actually premiered last year in Spain. Had its North American premiere this past Sunday. It's set in 1914. The plot follows a young man who arrives at a remote island near the Antarctic Circle to take the post of a weather observer, only to find himself trapped in a watchtower besieged by deadly creatures which live in hiding on the island. This stars Ray Stevenson and David Oakes. A couple of reviews that came out of it. Eric D. Snyder from Crooked Marquee said that the film is chilly, restrained horror that has a few surprises amid its familiar tropes. Rob Hunter over at Film School Rejects called the film an attractive creature feature about our own tendency to act like monsters. It's a small-scale blend of Shape of Water and Clive Barker's Nightbreed. That sentence has me sold on at least checking it out. I was probably going to check it out as well. I'm not sure if I would go as far as to say I'm a fan of Gens. I respect both Frontiers and the Divide, but they are two movies that I'm probably not going to watch multiple times. But yeah, I'm definitely interested in checking it out, especially that small scale blend of Shape of Water and Clive Barker's Nightbreed. That's a good selling point. The other one that premiered over the weekend was The Night Eats the World. This is another French movie. This is a French zombie movie. It's the morning after a party. A young man wakes up to find Paris invaded by zombies. This is more of a survival movie than a straightforward zombie flick. It's the debut film from French director Dominique Rocher. Evan Sathoff over at Birth Movies Death called it Castaway but with zombies, saying that the film was a nice but slow character study. Dax Ababen from Bloody Disgusting called it a refreshing take on the zombie film, meditating on the toll that trauma and loneliness can take on one's mind. This sounds very kind of art house horror-y, art house zombie-y. Maybe another interesting installment in the zombie genre to go along with Cargo from this year, which was very good and on Netflix now. Probably one of my favorite movies of the year was Cargo. This is actually on VOD right now. It's on Prime Video. I saw for $7. So if you are interested in that, check it out. What else is on DVD VOD to rent today? Blumhouse's Truth or Dare, the unrated version, comes out today. I have a soft spot for horror aimed at teenagers, so I will definitely be checking this out, even though the reviews weren't great. Rampage is out, starring Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Yeah, I already saw this. It's pretty much what you would expect from a Rampage movie. Some of the stuff with Rock and George, the big monkey, works a little bit better than I expected. That stuff actually works on a kind of a human level. It was kind of touching at times. The rest of it works good enough on a Rampage level. It's pretty silly. You Were Never Really Here is not necessarily horror, more of a mystery suspense film from We Need to Talk About Kevin director Lynn Ramsey. It won Best Screenplay at Cannes last year. Joaquin won for Best Actor as well. Got some really great reviews, and I think it's only like 90 to 100 minutes, which you are a hero, Lynn Ramsey. And then Wayward Pines Season 2, the second season of the canceled M. Night Shyamalan Fox sci-fi mystery horror show that I never watched, but maybe there's some fans out there who want to pick that up on DVD, VOD, Blu-ray, whatever your choice is on that. That's pretty much the wrap-up for today. I'm going to try to come out with these on a regular basis just to get me in some sort of groove and, yeah, keep it up. If you want to check out our podcast, we are on, like I said, any of your favorite podcasting services, Stitcher, iTunes, Overcast. You can check out our website. We post them on there, Horror Movie Yearbook. We've got some writing on there as well, horrormovieyearbook.com. This past week we covered a Resident Evil. Make sure to check out some of our other shows on the Midwest Podnet. We have Midwest Game Nerds, Gone to Texas, the Preacher podcast. If you're catching up on Westworld, we have Westworld FM. If you are watching The Alienist for the first time. We have an alienist, not alias. I have said that every time I've tried to say alienist. I almost did it again. But also check out our Patreon, patreon.com/MidwestPodNet. You can contribute as little as $1 a month to us. So that's it. Thank you for helping me get through the cool down of my coffee. Thank you for helping me recover from my bachelor party for today. I think I should be good to go by tomorrow. I'll check back in tomorrow. I'll probably talk a little bit about the horror movies, horror related stuff that is going to be at Comic-Con this year. All right, take care. Have a good day.